Hi, everyone. I'm your host, Chris Sands, and today I'm joined on this snowy day. I believe you even said you're getting snow out there in New Jersey, too. I haven't paid attention to see where all it's hitting. But I'm joined by Jeff Greco, one of the founders and owners of Heavy Reel Brewing Company. Thanks for joining me, Jeff.
Yeah, Chris, thanks for having me, man.
It was quite serendipitous last weekend. I thought I was just coming up to Fourscore to get some of their newest release. I didn't, and thinking back on it, I believe Ben had told me when you guys were doing a collaboration, but I don't remember anything anymore.
Yeah, you saw the hard work that goes into a collab day.
Yeah. So it was awesome. I got to meet you, got to talk for a while, and you were kind enough to agree to give me some of your time to hop on a podcast to talk about your brewery.
Yeah, man, of course.
So one, although I don't know how much I'll like you later, if you have me drinking a 9% stout early afternoon.
For real.
So let's start with one, where did the name Heavy Reel come from?
Yes, the name of the brewery came from a picture I had of my grandfather fishing somewhere around here by the Barnegat Lighthouse. And, I guess he was catching a fish, and I don't even know if it's a real term or anything. It just looked like the reel is heavy. And I don't know. I just kind of said it when I was like, come up with ideas. And, my wife said it was cool. So I thought it was kind of cool. And we just went with it. I didn't want to be caught up on a name for too long. I tried to start other businesses where I thought the name was so important. But, the name is important to an extent. But, we just liked it and went with it.
Wait, I've talked to some brewery owners that spent like forever coming up with a name, and you came up with a good one quickly. So I guess your approach works perfectly too.
The only other one we were considering was Barrier Island Brewing, but we didn't want to get confused with Barrier Brewing in New York. And it turns out that name's actually trademarked already, Barrier Island Brewing. So we wrote that one.
So you would have ran into trouble anyway.
Yeah.
So what were you doing before you decided to open a brewery?
I was actually a teacher by trade and home brewing probably like 2 or 3 times a week. That was it.
So was it burnout from teaching that motivated you to open your own brewery, or was it the love of home brewing, or was it just simply wanting to be an entrepreneur?
It was kind of a mixture of everything. I was never burnt out from teaching. I actually liked my job. I had a lot of friends that I worked with that actually helped me open this place, to be honest with you. They just made things easy for me when I was on 2 or 3 hours of sleep, working 2 jobs. It was just kind of I wanted to be my own boss. I kind of always liked the brewery atmosphere and the family atmosphere of it all, and just kind of want to try something different before, I told my wife, like, I wanted to try it before we had kids and before we bought a house and settled down. And a lot of that stuff happened beforehand, but we've just been kind of figuring it out along the way.
How long ago did you open?
Jesus, I suck at this question. I think 2018. We're coming up on our 3-year anniversary in April.
That's close enough. Around. Yeah. I'm not like, even when I know you have a little one. When my kids were young, I rounded to the closest 6 months.
Yeah, I know. We opened April 13th 3 years ago. So
okay, whatever that math works out to be.
Pretty sure it's 2018 or 19, one of them.
So what got you into craft beer?
Honestly, like craft beer tourism. It started, we were in Portland, Maine, and our hotel actually looked at Shipyard Brewing. So we just said, my wife and I were younger. We just started dating. So we went to the brewery because it was right there. Every other weekend we were traveling, just, local from New Jersey and where you guys are. You can be in a different state, a different area in 3 hours. So we were just doing like little weekend trips. Sam Adams, and we went to Newport Storm in Rhode Island. Just anywhere we'd go, we would try to find a brewery. And we just got hooked, man. It just became like brewery tourism. Anywhere we go, we were like researching breweries on the drive up, and yeah, that's how it got me into it. She brought me a brewing kit for Christmas one year, and I honestly never used it. It sat around forever, and I don't know. One rainy day, I took it out, and I was like, "Yep, I'm going to open a brewery." And I've always wanted to be a chef, but I'm not. I'm not a morning person, and I'm not a late night person. So like, a brewery,
yeah, that kind of negates the restaurant industry.
Like, you know, like it kind of works well for me because it's kind of, I look at it like cooking, you know, like just mixing flavors, matching profiles, and you know, I don't really have to stay here too late.
So the first beer that you homebrewed, was it any good?
Yeah, it was, because I mean, back then it was good. If I tried it now, I would probably be much more picky. But it was a Lagunitas clone, so like it was literally the ingredients, follow the directions. And
okay.
It was an extract too, so it's like boiling sugar water essentially. So it's pretty easy. And then you know, I got on a roll of like my first 3 or 4 beers going all grain were all, you know, drinkable, not infected. And then like I hit like a period where I was like, yeah, this is what people are talking about with all flavors. So
well, you're definitely in the minority though, because the vast majority of people that I asked that question to, their first batch was absolutely horrendous, no matter what they started with.
That's because because like the whole transferring time is, when you're homebrewing, a big problem. Like, tell homebrewers all the time, first thing to do is buy like a wort chiller and buy like a good little like fermenter that you can clean out pretty nicely, because that's where all the issues pretty much happen.
So right now, Heavy Reel is on the tiny end of the spectrum, correct? Like because you have what
size, you mean?
Yeah, like
so
brew house size.
Yeah, so we actually started on a barrel and half system. Literally all my homebrew equipment. We started on like a really small budget. You know, after we opened up and had some sales, we bought 100-gallon mash tun and a 75-gallon kettle. So it's kind of, I say it's like a 2.5 barrel system. Depends on like what you're brewing that we yield. At our new location, we moved up to a 10-barrel system. So yeah, we just started small, and you know, like where we are, it's kind of a touristy area. So it was cool because we got to brew a ton of beer, pretty much whatever we wanted, because the taste room was pretty much always packed. And it just gave, you know, a small brewery in a town that's pretty happening is like you get to experiment a lot, and which really, I mean, I think helped drive the brand and the business.
So when will the new location be online?
So in my head, I want to do it for the 3rd year anniversary, so April. If all the stars align, hopefully we'll be up in sometime in March, so in about a month. You know, there's some things that are out of our control with regulations and
licensing
licensing. So the federal government, we're approved. We're just about approved for the town, so we're just kind of waiting on the state, and yeah, hopefully like March or April.
If I remember correctly, you're like right on the beach too, right?
Yeah, we're a block away. Yeah, from where our new brewery is, you can actually like see the ocean.
So does that has that made your business very seasonal, or is there enough of a local customer base?
We definitely have like a big local following. A lot of businesses here are only open, you know, in the summer. We're open year round. We draw a pretty big crowd in the winter. This winter's been tough just because of COVID. We've been closed. We actually just reopened our new tasting room, or our old tasting room, like 2 weeks ago. So we finally have some people back inside. But yeah, we draw a crowd year round, but in the summer, it's definitely like you get just people that walk by and don't even really know it's a brewery and just pop in. So yeah, off season is pretty good usually.
We're going to take a real quick sponsor break. And when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about the difference between if there will be a difference in how you operate, because that's quite a jump in capacity from where you are to where you're going to be. We will be right back.
If you haven't heard about our beer dinners, well, now you have. Typically, the last Tuesday of each month, we partner with a local brewery and craft an exclusive 5-course dinner. Each course is thoughtfully paired with some of the finest craft beer available. You'll meet the brewery, enjoy memorable pairings and service, and have a damn good time. Like us on Facebook to stay in the know when tickets become available, because they will sell out quick.
Idiom Brewing Company proudly offers a delicious variety of beers to satisfy the most discerning tastes. Best known for their wide array of IPAs, delicious fruited sours, and robust porters and stouts, Idiom prides themselves on continuing to innovate, utilizing new and experimental hops, local ingredients, and unique flavor profiles. Idiom has a simple goal in mind: to bring people from all walks of life together to enjoy themselves and each other. Idiom Brewing Company is located in downtown Frederick, just south of the intersection of East Street and East Patrick Street, with ample seating and directly on Carroll Creek.
All right. Let's actually rewind what we were just talking about, because I do want to point out the beer that I'm drinking right now of yours, the Choco Nana Nut, is super, super good. And you were just saying this may be a whole line that you do.
Yeah. So the first I always like chocolate covered bananas. So that was the inspiration for that beer. First one was chocolate banana peanut butter. That one you're drinking is chocolate banana coconut. So we might just keep doing it and just changing the last adjunct. The next one might be white chocolate banana and macadamia nut. Do like a little blonde stout.
What I love about this is that those flavors, at least for me, are they're very delicate almost. Yeah. Like they're not in your face. But like drinking, it's almost reminiscent of a banana split.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's just it's just there. It's just like it's whispering to you that that's what it is.
Yeah.
And it drinks way too easy for a 9% stout.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a big hit. I like that beer a lot.
And also, I had told you when we were at Fourscore, I like the I actually didn't even realize at first that it was one of your beers, because it definitely looks like it could be a Fourscore one too, because he does the 8-bit labels.
Yeah, that's cool. Our designer did that for us. I just kind of said, we're doing a chocolate banana beer, and that's what he sent me. I was like, yeah, that's cool. Fuck it, let's go with it.
Yeah, I like it. It's cool. It draws your eye. Like it's just a cool label. So it's kind of complicated math to do what X size expansion you're doing.
Yeah, I'm terrible at it.
But it's large. Yeah. Is that going to change the way you operate? Like, do you plan on distributing, or you think just there will be?
Yeah, so we'll distribute a little bit more. I mean, we don't really distribute at all right now, so we'll distribute to some places. That makes sense for us to distribute. It'll allow us to have more operating hours, because there was times like when we first opened, we'd open on Friday night and sell out by like midday Saturday.
Oh wow!
And then we were telling people, sorry, we'd have no beer. So it will help with those issues. Our canning process will be a lot easier because we're canning everything ourselves right now. On the bigger system, we'll have a mobile unit come in to start. One of the big plans is to buy a production size canning line.
So are you using one of those tabletop canning system?
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, it's getting us through on the small system, but when we go bigger, it'll make more sense for us.
So really, it's going that much larger is more solving a problem than it is going to have to change the way you operate.
Yeah. So we just wanted to make it more sustainable too. Being small, I could have done it my whole life, but you're like grinding, like everything there was all manual. The temperature controls were all manual. Like it was just, it was tough, man. Like it was like really like a Frankenstein system. Here it's just, the process of getting the beer to you guys is just a lot easier. So we'll be brewing a lot more beer, and it will be a lot easier for us on our end. So
That's why you had to have just been brewing constantly.
Yeah,
the last few years to not even be able to keep up with demand.
Yeah.
And that I would think like at first for a while that scarcity where like you don't know if you're going to be able to get your beer past Saturday probably helps, but at some point that could turn customers away.
Yeah,
with being so many options. So not having to worry about turning people away because you don't have the beer will help a lot.
Yeah, a lot of like at first, like a lot of the just like the people that didn't really get it, the comments we would get would be like, most businesses are open for more than 4 hours and this and that. And it's just like we were trying our best. Like literally I was sleeping at the brewery. There's an air mattress there, and would get there, brew in the summer, brew at 3 o'clock in the morning, brew 2 beers a day. Like literally sleep there after working the tasting room and do it all over again. And, just burning myself out, but trying to get as much beer out as we possibly could.
Probably both the great part and the downside of craft beer fans being so passionate.
Yeah.
Like they'll support you, but then they also kind of have unrealistic expectations about being able to get your beer sometimes, and almost take it as a personal affront if they're not able to get the beer that they want to.
Yeah, I mean, like to this day, every release we do, like people will post and ask, like, what liquor store can we find this in? We're like,
can't
just buy it here. Like, support us too. Like, but just stuff like that, man. It's like a lot of stuff's out of our control. We try to do really good with our customers, and a lot of our like people that buy from us regularly know the deal. It's just since COVID, where we're doing a lot more home delivery, there's been like a lot of people that are like when things sell out, they get angry and stuff like that. But a lot of it's out of our control. So it's just, it's like the business is always evolving, and we're trying to find the best way to do things. And, we're thankful that people have been patient with us for this long through this growth.
I do. I love the label of the beer the can drop you announced a couple days ago, and I think it's a beer that you do semi-regularly. The Bring Out the Goon.
Yeah, so that's a new one. Yeah, we just did that for the beginning of hockey season, and it's a really good beer too. We do. I don't want to do sports beers. It's just kind of turned into that. We did a Mets beer with my friends over here, Icarus Brewing in New Jersey. And that one, we'll be doing that one again in about a month. That's another popular one too.
But I love that label. I love hockey too. And glancing at it, it looks like it would fit in. I mean, obviously the New Jersey Devils colors are similar, but it looks like it could fit in as a Washington themed beer also.
That's funny. Yeah, that's Chris, our design guy. He really kicks ass on his designs. And me and him, kind of get each other and what we want out of a design.
I like I also really like it looks like it's a series of beers you do. Maybe the latest one was Orange Creamsicle.
Yeah.
So is it just that same label and then different colors with each flavor?
Yeah, so like next week we'll do the Dole Whip version of it, and we have a different look. The same Love and Thick are our 2 sour series, and it's the same logo. It's just we change the colors, and sometimes we'll change the skeleton up a little bit.
Okay. How often are you releasing new beers? I guess when you're making such a small amount now, it's got to be like almost constantly, right?
Yeah, so a lot of the releases that we do, we'll like double batch them. So like the Baba Brewhouse one we just released a couple of weeks ago. We did 2 batches of that, so we had like 5 barrels of it. So yeah, pretty much every week we try to release at least 2 or 3 beers. Last week we released 1 just because, we were down by you guys in Cushwa doing the collabs down there. This week we released 4 beers, which is just catching up. So yeah, every week it's kind of something new.
What was it that you did with Kushwa? Was that an IPA?
Yeah. Yep. IPA with all bunch of hops neither of us have worked with before or too familiar with. So.
And then the 4 Score is going to be a fruited sour, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not allowed to say anything. They like to keep it a secret.
Yeah, they keep the flavors under wraps until right before releasing. Although they have what I love about Ben is he puts mango in a lot of beer, and I love mango in beer.
We do that too. Yeah, I think I brought you that. You tried the mango thick.
Yeah, the mango thick was really good. Yeah. I was the first time I ever had like a, and I know you had said you don't, you've never advertised it as a goza, but I mean, it is kind of because, well, stylistically, I think you would come in last place in a BJCP competition, but it's like a thick boy goza.
Yes, we use Atlantic sea salt from the bay right over here, so that I think it gives us our like little our own flavor to it.
Well, it's the first time I've ever had that, so like it's anyone who hasn't had it, it's a big, pulpy, thick fruited sour.
Yeah,
but with that addition of the sea salt, and it's a really nice flavor balance.
So the reason we did that is like when you drink something sour or sweet, when you get something like salt that dries it out, it actually like confuses your brain and you're like, what the fuck was that? Like,
yeah,
that's the reason why we do it. Cause like we do Funkadelic passion fruit. That's like one of the staples of that series. When you try that, this passion fruit and our sour base is so sour, and then you have the salt to mix in with it. It's quite an experience.
I bet the strawberry banana one is good.
Yeah, we just started working with banana recently, and we actually put it in that beer you're drinking now. So yeah, it's 2 classic flavors that you can put together right there, strawberry and banana.
Are the loves and the thicks only crowlered?
So some of them are in 4-packs.
Okay.
It kind of just all depends. Like right now, it just all depends on labels, like what we have on hand. We have a lot of crowler labels left, and we only have 4-pack labels for certain beers. So yeah, it kind of just depends on the week. Like this week we have the love in the 4-packs. Next week we'll have thick in 4-packs. It just kind of depends on the week and the beer. Like the mango, that thick mango was the first time we ever put it in a crowler, so we just wanted to do crowlers before we ordered a ton of 4-pack labels.
Do you crowler them on demand, or do you pre-crowler a bunch? And
yeah, we pre-crowler. So we release beers on Thursday night. So we'll go in Friday and pre-fill all the ones that sold already, and then when we open we're only open Saturdays right now. So then on Saturdays we'll pre-fill a bunch in the morning just so we have them for walk-ups.
So actually, the banana and all the other flavors are starting to come out much better now. I had this sitting out on my patio, right outside of my office. So it was suboptimal temperature for the flavors. But now that it's had a chance to warm up, they're definitely still not like overpoweringly. It's still kind of just a hint of flavor, but it's more pronounced now. If you were thinking like, what are you talking about when I said that earlier?
Yeah.
It's like, does this guy have COVID? Has he lost his sense of taste and smell? Let's take one more quick sponsor break. And then I want to talk to you about collaborations and then maybe a little bit about doing the Sour Fest and like all those collaborative things you do with so many like very popular breweries.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back. There are many reasons why I've chosen District East for where I purchase beer. I love the flexibility of being able to make a custom 6-pack or take home a crowler from one of the 8 beers on tap. Their friendly and knowledgeable staff do an amazing job at keeping a diverse selection on hand. You can even purchase artwork from the monthly featured artist. District East is located on Northeast Street in Frederick in the same shopping center as Family Mill and Rockwell Brewery. You can find today's beer lists on the District East Facebook page or at www.districteast.beer. To all you craft breweries, wineries, and distilleries out there, listen up. Atlantic Custom Solutions is the real deal in providing you branded growlers, ceramics, glassware, and accessories like koozies, coasters, and keychains. Their high-definition digital printing, organic ink, and low-fire process ensures your brand is printed in ultra-high definition, giving you a one-up on the competition. We've used Atlantic Custom Solutions for uncapped branded glassware and couldn't be happier with it. Check them out. Visit www.brandmybeverage.com or give them a call at 434-286-4500 to learn more about how they can help you brand your business. Uncapped is brought to you with support from McClintock Distilling, Maryland's first and only organic certified distillery. They are well known for their award-winning gin and are rapidly growing a name for themselves for their Matchstick Bourbon and Bootjack Rye Whiskey that have both won double gold at international spirits competitions. You can visit them in historic downtown Frederick along Carroll Creek for tours and tastings. Go to McClintockDistilling.com for more information. Okay, so you just mentioned the Foursquare one you did. You did one with Kushwa. I know you've done one with Imprint. And there's just a long list of popular breweries you've done with. Being so small, how have you made that happen? Like how did you get into those circles to with these some of them fairly large, some small also, but very popular breweries to work with them?
So I think it started with our thick series, our fruited sour series. We were doing that in the taste room. People were filling crowlers and bringing them down places and trading them. Like I remember this group of people would come in, pick up a bunch of our thick crowlers and bring them down to Burley Oak and trade them and this and that. I think we just started getting a little bit of a name behind it, and just kind of reached out to Brian at Imprint, and then I think after we did that first collab with Imprint, it kind of put us on the map. Like people started coming in a lot more just for our sours, and since then it's really grown. And we make a lot of connections being in the industry. Before opening the brewery, I had a lot of contacts in the brewing industry, so it's just kind of just been like an organic kind of growth for us, and meeting new people. Like next week we're going to Channel Marker up in Massachusetts. They're like a small brewery too, but they've been putting out some awesome beer, so I'm stoked to get up there and see what they're doing and brew together with them.
So is it kind of like the Thick Boy Fruited Sour Club?
Sort of, but like Kushwa, we're not doing fruited sour, but
I guess Kushwa does. I mean, they do a little bit, but theirs aren't even their fruited sours. They aren't the super thick, pulpy ones.
I had their mango with something a couple months back. The first time I met Garrett, and it was super thick and delicious. But like, not all our collabs are sours. I just feel like that's what got us on the map. But a lot of it's just. It's nice having friends in the industry. You can just text and, kind of just, have other people that go through the same thing, kind of do the same things you guys do. And it's just, for us, it's fun. It's like a play date with your brewery friends.
Well, it lets you go hang out, meet new people. And and one thing that's always explained to me is too, like the learning aspect of it also is great because there's so much of just not knowing other ways of doing something. Like you may have been taught one way to accomplish a task and never thought that it could be done a better way. And during a collaboration, like that's been pointed out to me a few times that like they've seen them do something weird. I'm like, well, why'd you do that? There's
so many different ways to get to the final product, and everybody does it differently. Like every brewer knows their own system. Like if you plug me onto Ben's system at Foursquare, like I might completely fuck something up. Just like the same thing if he comes over to our system, like we all know the nuances and ins and outs of our systems and our brewing process over there.
So that's 3. The tickets just went on sale this week. You'll be participating in the Friends with Benefits Sour Fest, which has an impressive lineup of participating breweries. How'd you end up involved in that one?
So we got in through Ingenious Brewing. We did a collab with them down in Texas, and I know Ouzel Finch had like 2 open spots, so I just reached out to Russ and said, "Hey, we're definitely interested." Just and it just kind of happened like that.
Nice.
No real science or anything behind it.
It's like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that I don't know the Ouzel Finch guys. I'm kind of excited to meet those guys and hang out. But we've talked through text and email, so we're excited to get down there. And not many people in Virginia really get our beer. I feel like most of the trades go out to like Colorado and California.
Is there any in-person aspect of this, or is it all virtual?
Yeah, there's limited in person.
Okay.
So I mean, like, we'll be down there for it, but they're also sending out packages all over the state or all over the country.
Yeah, unless you live in Maryland, because we can't be trusted to receive beer in the mail.
Jersey too, but I don't know the rules. Maybe New Jersey. New Jersey has shitty laws too.
Yeah, I didn't take note of whether New Jersey was or not, but in Pennsylvania you can, in Virginia you can.
PA has like the best laws for breweries and beer.
But for us in Maryland, we can't be trusted to receive beer through the mail. So unless you have a friend in Virginia or Pennsylvania to ship it to their house, we're out of luck for things like this.
Yeah, trust me, I'm used to it living in New Jersey.
Although I do have a friend just over the border in Virginia that I can have stuff shipped to. So I may do the Friends with Benefits Festival.
Yeah, like you said, the lineup is crazy for that one.
Yeah, and like Tripping Animals, Weathered Souls, Vitamin C, Evil Twin, McKellar, you guys, Ingenious, just get Aslan. It just goes on and on.
Yeah.
And it's a cool little I don't know, they also did the FML festival last year where they had like this really cool packaging and stuff too. I don't know if they're doing the same thing.
I saw they released like the glassware and stuff. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah, the glassware looks cool.
Yeah.
But for the FML fest, the packaging that it came in was like a reversible box to take your Instagram photos in.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Like it had a whole background and stuff for like you to use to snap the photo and post and then try the beer.
We have this like big open lot over here right next to the ocean. We keep wanting to do our own festival. But like when I say that and we really want to do it, there's just so much stuff that goes into it with like insurance and all the purchasing and all this other stuff. So if anybody knows how to run a festival, please reach out and help us out.
They it also kind of ruins it for you having fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Because you're just a nervous wreck the whole time and people coming to you to ask questions and
I don't like being the main focus of things, so I would just want to get drunk in the back somewhere.
Yeah, so you just kind of need to farm it out. Yeah, like let it be yours, but delegate.
Definitely.
But yeah, that would be a pretty awesome festival to advertise, like right along the beach. And
yeah, I mean we've been talking about it for years now, just afraid to pull the trigger, and we've had too much other stuff on our own time going on over here, so
maybe birthday number 4.
Yeah, maybe that'd be cool.
Throw a friend Heavy Reel and Friends anniversary party.
We'll try it.
Then that'll give me an excuse to make my second trip to New Jersey.
Yes, seriously.
Although I think I drove through it once also, but
yeah, that doesn't do it justice.
No,
it's a beautiful land over here.
And I definitely enjoyed my trip to Red Bank and I can't remember whatever city the Quick Stop is in for where Clerks was filmed.
Not far.
But yeah, and it's an easy short. It's not that far of a drive from Frederick.
Yeah, for us to get to Foursquare, it's like just over 3 hours. There's like 3 hours 10 minutes or something like that. It's really not bad.
So ultimately, I have no excuse. I just need to make it happen.
Yeah, and I hate the beach. Most people come down and I hate going to the beach, so most people want to come down for like vacation and stuff. But if you're like me and hate the beach, then there's other stuff to do.
Well, I hate the beach, but my wife and kids love it.
Yeah.
So that would be my way of like,
come here.
Yeah, like, hey, you guys want to go to the beach? We've never been to New Jersey for the beach. Why don't we go there?
Yeah, seriously.
Is that an area that gets really packed though during the summer, or is it not a huge?
Yeah, it gets packed.
Okay,
but,
yeah.
I mean, the beach is all public, so it depends like where you go. Like we have a state park here that doesn't get too crowded, but it gets crowded around here because we have a boardwalk with like games and rides and stuff.
Okay.
State park up the street where it's like all natural, like wildlife and stuff, and you're not really going there for fun. You're going for the beach.
Where are you allowed to have alcohol at the beach?
I believe so. Yeah, okay. I mean,
but we do.
We do. I haven't ever not.
I know some places like they're real ridiculous with that.
Yeah,
I didn't know if.
I think it's I know in our town there's some like alcohol permitted beaches. So
okay, where is your new location in compared to what your old one? Are they close to each other, or is it?
Yeah, they're probably half a mile apart.
Okay.
Yeah, that's on the same road, just half a mile down the road.
Are you closing the original when you fully open the new one, or are you going to operate two?
It's kind of up in the air. We might have to, just based on COVID and everything else, and it's going to be tough operating two places during like limited capacity.
Yeah,
we're kind of playing it by ear and seeing what we can do. And
how has New Jersey been? I haven't followed their restrictions at all. Or were you completely closed, or was it limited capacity?
We're completely closed, but now it's 35% now. We went from 25 to 35, but a lot of it just makes no sense. Like the beaches were packed. You couldn't even, like see a speck of sand, but 1 block away, we were allowed to have 2 people in the brewery. So it made no sense for a while. But it's starting to get a little bit better where we are. Businesses are still opening and still doing what we can to, fight through this.
So during that time where you just all to go crowlers and 4-packs?
Yeah. So like when it first all happened, we were all to go mainly because, our baby was born the day they shut down hospitals for COVID. So, and back last March, like nobody really knew what it was or where you could get it. So we were just super cautious. So we closed it down even when they opened up 25%. So we were closed for like 10 months just doing to go. Like we were literally open like from 12 to like 3 o'clock just doing to go 1 day a week. So with them, I don't know, we just got to the point where we were like, let's just open and see what happens. And 2 weeks ago, we just opened the old tasting room back up for a little while.
So you had mentioned earlier it's kind of the fruited sours that put you on the map.
Yeah.
What did you start out making those, or was that?
Yeah, we started off doing like sours. We started this beer called Follow the Iwa, where it was more like Crooked Stave type sours, where it was like fruited but not heavily fruited. And then I don't know, just as we started exploring more and doing different processes, and we just kind of did it, and we did it in the middle of the summer, and it really just like 2 summers ago, it really just like exploded.
Um, is that a style you've always liked, or is it not one that you personally?
So sours are my favorite style of beer. I do like fruited sours, but I more like the spontaneous from mixed culture, stuff like that. Which we just started a whole program doing that. We did our first bottle release about a month ago. So in this building, we're going to have a whole room dedicated to our funky barrels and stuff like that.
Nice.
So,
yeah, are you gonna have a cool ship?
I've been saying for years we're trying to build one / buy one. It's just it's just been a lot.
Yeah.
Too many moving parts. So like right now we're just doing some like wild cultures and stuff like that, and then hopefully doing a cool ship in the near future. But yeah, like some of my favorite beers, like the one we do here is a collab with Inu Island out in Hawaii, and it's not fruited really. It's just like fermented on fruit, so you get like a lot of tanginess from the different fruits we put in there. That's like one of my favorites.
How big of a size difference is that, like your actual building location difference between the two?
Yeah, so our original building is just like 1,300 square feet, and then we bought this building, and I believe the whole building is like 10,000 square feet. But to start, we're only occupying 6,000 square feet.
It's a nice big jump. That's a decent.
We actually looked at this building early on, and we were like, no, this is way too big. And now we look at it now, and we're like, well, at least we have room to grow now.
Yeah. How much of it is going to be tap room, and how much is production?
Like percentage wise, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know. Any way you want to describe.
You're cracking up. I don't know over there. I don't know if it's going to come through on the recording, but
I can.
Like
I can hear it too. I'll just cut it out.
It's like 60% tasting room, 40% production area.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like much roomier than our old spot.
What is the motif kind of like? What is your design aesthetic?
So like in our original brewery, we have just like pallet wood halfway up the walls, and then it's painted all black. We have some old outboard engines from boats that we've just been kind of collecting. People bring in like random old nautical stuff, so it's kind of like a mix of like nautical stuff with a little dark element to it.
Nice. Actually, I am kind of worried about how this is going to sound, because one of our internet connections, and I think I am the culprit, is going downhill quickly. So I apologize. Sorry, say that again.
Do you want to pause and start back up?
Hold on. Wait, I think it may have. Nope, it did not fix itself. Yeah, I'll have to send you a new link.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Because it won't let me end it and then restart it. Let me end this, create a new session, and I'll just text you the link.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Technical difficulties have been overcome. We can hear each other again.
There we go.
That's there's a beauty to how I have to record now, and then the horrible downside, like what just happened, where like you're at the mercy of computers and internet access to be able to record. However, if it wasn't for this, most likely I wouldn't have been able to have you on as a guest, or people in Texas and California. So there's huge upside and a slight hurdle downside to overcome. But
yeah,
we persevered and we made it happen.
Yeah, definitely.
So you were saying you have a mixture of nautical, and then just I think when you say like people bring you stuff, I think a cool phenomenon that happens with brewery owners, that like I think like people build such a personal connection to their favorite breweries that they want to give you stuff.
Yeah.
So just like every brewery owner just seems to have just stuff that's dropped off at the brewery for them.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, family members too. Like they just want to give you everything, and like some of it's like, what am I even going to do with this? You know. But
what is the coolest thing one of your customers has ever dropped off for you?
This one guy brought in like this big, expensive pen tuna reel. Like people want to buy it from us all the time. And we're like, look, we got this as like a gift. We can't sell it.
Is that like a special?
Yeah, I guess it's like a big like sport fishing reel, and people tell us it's like $500 or $800 all the time. I'm like, well, if we're ever down to that, we know.
Yeah, that's Plan B.
Yeah.
So, are you into fishing at all, or?
Yeah, like before owning the brewery, I loved it. You know, like I used to live like an hour away from where we are now. Thank God I live like 5 minutes away, but we only moved down here a year ago, so now hopefully this spring I'll have some more time that we live right here that I could go fishing. But you know, prior to the brewery opening, I was going all the time. We have like a boat. My father-in-law has a boat in the next town over, so we usually go out on that.
No wonder you had a inflatable mattress at the brewery.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. When I saw people, it was like literally burning the candle on both ends. It was wild for a little while.
Yeah, that would be miserable driving home after a full day of brewing at an all manual system. Yeah,
I used to get home around like 2-3 in the morning, and then have to wake up at 6 for work the next day. It was rough. I used to just fucking speed, and I got pulled over by a cop like halfway. And funny story, like he kind of recognized me and let me go. And he's like one of our good friends at the brewery to this day. Like helped us, build this place. And I said, like, just thanks for letting me off that day. And it's still like a joke around here. And he got it. Like it's not like we're doing anything wrong. Just it was.
I just want to go to bed.
Follow your goal, man, and just working your ass off, and not making excuses, and just the job had to get done. So,
do you do all of the brewing, or do you have anyone? Do you have plans to hire help when it's larger, or
midway through? I wouldn't say hired. I had my friend Ricky come in and help, and I was paying him to do some of the brewing. A lot of the beers that were kind of like the easier styles to do. Here we're going to be hiring a full-time brewer to I don't like the term head brewer. Like we're just both going to be the brewers, so
yeah,
head brewer, whatever you want to call it. There'll be 2 of us, and then we'll probably hire some like part-time cellarmen and stuff like that.
Is your goal to try to step back from having to do the brewing and focus on other aspects of the business, or you still want to be intimately in?
Eventually, I don't want to be on the brew deck forever, but it's kind of like whatever the business calls for. That's kind of how I look at it. If it makes sense for me to be brewing 40 to 60 hours a week, then I brew 40 60 hours a week. If it calls for me to do more of because we're like right now I do everything. I do the paperwork side of it, the legal side of it, the brewing side of it. But here it's a different model. It kind of depends where the business kind of pushes me, which direction. So I guess we'll see.
Who do you do the social media and stuff too, or do you have someone helping with that?
No, I do the social media too.
So you're just doing it all.
Literally, all of it. Yeah.
Do you have? Well, I guess really. I can't remember. Do you have the tasting room open at all right now, or is it?
Yeah. So we had like a 12-person staff for the tasting room pre-COVID. Once COVID hit, Kenny's like our lead guy. He holds down the tasting room, and that's like his little baby.
Well, at least you have help there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the tasting room. The tasting room was like one of those things. Like I was like, I can't. all I wanted to do was work in the tasting room at the beginning, and then like a month in, you realize you have no weekends anymore. And, it was a lot. Like when we first started here, it was me, my wife, and my brother doing the tasting room. And, we'd have a lot of fun, but it gets a lot after a while where every weekend, the business kind of consumed you. So, I'm in the tasting room a lot just because I'm there on Saturdays, but I'm not really working, but I'm there doing whatever needs to be done.
It's one thing it's been described to me often as being both great and a downside of like everyone wants to talk to you, which is awesome, but then it's also everyone wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
So
I
not as
like that part of it. It was just tough. Like a lot of times we'd be brewing and like our original location's really small. So we'd be brewing and, there'd be somebody trying to talk to you and there's hot, hoses everywhere with, boiling water going through them. I'm like trying to be nice and just, because I love the tasting room. I love, like, we have a lot of regulars and I love now that's back open again, seeing a lot of familiar faces. But it was really hard to kind of get both jobs done while the tasting room was open. But at least here, there's more of a separation, kind of like Fourscore, where it's kind of separated, so you can do your work and not have to entertain everybody. And then when you want to, mix and mingle, you can go over to the tasting room.
And people just can't wander right to you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I had one person describe it to me like that. They almost had to stop and mentally prepare themselves to go into the tasting room once the brewery reached a certain level of popularity.
Yeah, well, luckily, I don't think we're like, I don't know, we're all kind of like approachable and just kind of, it's a small space, our first one. So I don't know. It's like whenever you go into a brewery, like when I go do collabs and stuff, like you kind of forget people are working and like everybody goes to breweries because they're fun,
Yeah.
But for us, it's like a job too at the same time. So it's hard to like balance the fun with the work that needs to be done.
Do you have any other collabs lined up that you're looking forward to?
Right now, we kind of we just finished a bunch of them. We're kind of waiting for this spot to open because now we have to have a lot of the ones that we did. They need to come back over here and do them. So we've just kind of been waiting for this to open. Like Ben at Fourscore, we're talking about doing it here. So now we're just kind of waiting.
Who else? So you have Fourscore coming out, Cushwell coming out. Are there other ones you just did too that will be coming out soon?
Well, we're doing a couple next week, and the following week. But so Non-Sequential Beer Works in Brooklyn. Then we have Channel Marker up in Beverly, Massachusetts. So they'll be putting out beer within the next month.
When you do those, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, in our own spot, we're not going to be putting out a collab for probably a month or two.
Do when you do those collaborations with the further off places, well, even the ones out here, do you get some of it to sell at your own brewery, or are they only available at the away team?
Yeah, so like legally, New Jersey, we're not allowed to like bring in a keg and sell it. But like when we went to Imprint, we brought a keg for them to pour for free to people. That's kind of a silly law. That's why I think a lot of breweries move to, all right, we brew beer there, and then we brew beer here. That's, I think, where the collab thing's moving to.
Yeah, that way your local people don't miss out on being able to get it completely, whereas now they have to because of the laws.
Like when we did the collab with Kings out in California, we kind of both did the same base, but we changed the fruit just because, like we didn't want them doing side-by-side comparisons of the same beer. We just wanted them to have two different experiences to try them like that.
Yeah, I like at least in Maryland, I think you're allowed, like you would have to set it up as like a contract brew where like if both places are within Maryland, but if it's outside of, I think it's the same thing. There's no legal way to be able to sell the other breweries version of it.
Yeah. And I mean, like, to be honest with you, a lot of it's the same. Like, our recipes are kind of the same. Like, we'll just share the recipe so we can both brew the same thing. And, you know, I don't know. It is what it is with the laws. And, you know, I wish it was fixed, but there's, you know, bigger problems than right now than serving somebody else's beer.
Yeah. I really like this clown Tiku that you made. It looks like it was a while ago.
Was like, so Drowning Clown's like, we don't do a flagship, but we brew that IPA the most. I actually brewed it yesterday. So we did that. That was probably like the first anniversary we did that for.
Probably April 9th, 2020.
Yeah.
At least this is the photo that I'm looking at right here.
So I think that was our anniversary glass.
That's a cool glass.
Then last year we didn't do anything because it was like literally the middle of COVID, like when it just happened. So our anniversary was nothing. I think we might put out cans. I don't even remember, but no glassware. We didn't do anything last year. Because like at that time we were like, well, we'll just celebrate it in the summer. Like this isn't going to last very long.
Couple months, everything will be fine.
Yeah, everybody will just come in like May or June and we'll celebrate. It's no big problem.
Oh, how naive we all were.
Yeah, seriously.
Now we're just kind of hoping and praying that summer will bring some.
Yeah, no, I think this summer will be a little bit better with, you know, whatever people believe in it or not believe in it. I don't know.
Yeah,
it'll be better.
It can't be worse. At least I hope it can't be.
Like you said, it can't be worse. So we made it. We're surviving it. So.
All right. I want to thank you so much for your time. Unless, is there anything else you have coming up or anything you wanted to cover that I didn't ask?
No, I mean, we're pretty open on social media about, you know, our beers and what we're doing and where we're going with this. And yeah, I mean, we're stoked for people to listen to this and, you know, try our beer. Where do
people find you?
So you go to heavyreelbrewing.com. Or if you have Facebook or Instagram, that's the best way to find us.
Yeah, you're pretty active, especially on Instagram. Your social media is very, it's enjoyable to watch. You have pretty pictures.
Yeah, we're very responsive too. We try to respond to every message that comes in.
That's such a completely daunting task.
Yeah, well,
so I commend you on that goal.
It's better than email because there's no junk messages usually on Instagram. So like,
that's a good point.
Like email, if I go on the email right now, there's like 2,500 messages and half of them is just all crap. So that's why we say the best way to contact us is definitely social media.
That's a good. I'd never thought of that. Although I have been lately getting junk, like spam Instagram messages. Sometimes.
Yeah, or sales and stuff like that.
But at least they're hidden off to the side. Yeah, you can just keep them there. All right. Well, thank you so much for the time. Thank you for the Choco Nana Nut Stout. This was absolutely delicious. I look forward to. I'm definitely gonna have to make a trip to New Jersey to check out the brewery once you open the new spot, and I know it'll be an easy to convince my wife to go. Yeah, sure. If I bring up the idea of going to the beach, I'm not going to be told no.
Yeah, and trust me, the kids will love it too. The boardwalk over here was like one of my favorite memories as a kid. So
nice.
They'll have a blast.
Yeah, all those three women upstairs. They're weird. They love the beach.
Yeah, that's fun.
But thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, Chris, thanks for having me, man. I'll see you again soon.
Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. Cheers.